So what's up, guys? As you can hear, the blower's still going. So waiting for this guy to leave. Once he's gone, then I will get started. So give me a minute. Okay, finally peace and quiet. Other than some birds off in the background, which you'll probably still hear. But I'm getting situated, balancing Mike Keller's fan. Got a little thrown off with some other stuff, but getting busy with it now. Still fidgeting a little bit. I'm trying to get some stuff organized. This EDF that I was going to use ended up having an issue, so I'm going to have to do something different. I have to get a different battery, so give me a few minutes, guys. I'll come back. I'll pick up a different battery because I'm using one with a EC5 ESC that I'm going to use is using a Dean's, so give me a minute. I'll be back. All right, I'm back. So we got a blower gone, and now we have, hopefully you guys don't hear it, but let me see. So I'm getting all the parts situated here. Make sure the fan is spinning the right direction. And it is. Okay, so cool, I got lucky. Go going. I have Carlos Santana playing in the background, so I don't know if you guys can hear that, but I'll try to monitor chat. Shadow Ops, you got a wrench? RC Was, dude, you got a wrench? So what's up, guys? How you doing? Record Roy, depends on the burner. I try to have parts pre-made, so I make them to order. But I don't know, anywhere from 15 minutes to a half hour, depending on which one. So what's up, guys? How you doing? I know it's the middle of the day. I don't plan on seeing a whole bunch of people because people are probably working. But let me tell you what I'm doing here. So Mike Keller wanted to go faster with his Super Scorpion. So I told him I'd help him out. The Super Scorpion's already pretty quick. It's got an FMS fan in it, a 12 blade, the 1900 kV motor, but it's an outrunner, and outrunners are not very good for high RPM applications. They work great for regular planes, even if it's a plane that's got high performance prop on it. but they're not as good. So just to give you an idea, this is the motor that came out. This is the motor that came out of the original FMS, and this works really good for an outrunner. It's a 1900 kV 3546. So yeah, that was in the unit, and it actually worked pretty good. But as I've said, outrunners are known for torque, not RPM. You need torque mainly for spinning a big prop. So all this extra mass here doesn't really help when you want to go fast. It does help when it means you want to spin a big prop. It's good for that. But in-runners are made in a way that works better for spinning at high RPMs, and they still can make torque as well. But since there's such a smaller area, what's up, Jermaine? Since there's such a smaller propeller or rotor, you don't need to have as much torque. You do need to have torque, but just not as much. So this isn't the motor that I'm using, but this is gives you an idea of the difference in the way that they're made. So here you can see that's the stock motor, and that's the size of the motor that I'm going to use. I'm using a different motor, but this is just an example. It's the same size. So that just shows you you've got all this part here internally is a rotor that's going to be spinning. On this one, it's just this part that's spinning around the magnets. So yeah, it's going to be torquey, but then it's going to fall off on the high end. This is going to be a good combination of the two. It's got a longer can for torque, and then it's narrow, so it doesn't take much to get that to spin. And when it starts spinning, it's able to hit higher RPMs easier because of it being so small. So hey, can you guys hear me okay? I'm not really paying attention to the chat, but I want to make sure you guys can hear me. And I have a fan on me, so if you hear wind noise, let me know, because it's going to be like 90 degrees out here today. Let me know. But anyway, so let's get started. This is going to be pretty much a starting from beginning to end. I always try to get stuff done before, but didn't work this time. Had other things going on. So let's get to the parts we're going to need for what we're going to do. I'll put that up on the screen so you can see. So that's the tools you're going to need, and I'll go over it individually because I get a little vague on some of what's needed. So let's start with the first thing. What's happening, Shadow Ops? Okay, so you guys hear me. All right, good. So all right, so the tools I need for this, number one, scissors. Got those. Set those aside for now. Need high quality electrical tape. I use Scotch 3M, which is really good. It sticks really well. Need some alcohol to clean things, which I haven't done yet, but you'll see I have alcohol in this bottle. I've got 71% in there. Paper towel. Got some of that. Shop towels. Screwdriver for the spinner. My wife's here. Use it. Also, a screwdriver and wrenches of several different types of wrenches. This time I needed this, and I used that to tighten this down because I should have used Loctite on that, but I didn't. It should hold. I'll use Loctite. I'll get all that stuff done right after this, but I put Loctite on the motors inside, on the motor inside, and then on the shaft itself to hold this in place. That's a little overkill, but I did anyway. And there's, okay, so driver wrenches. Oh, I didn't get the Sharpie. Let me go grab the Sharpie, but I use a blue Sharpie because that's that shows up better on this. So we all right, so I got the Sharpie. I always use blue because that shows up best on the black. Then what else? And then the Loctite. I'll use blue Loctite because that holds, but then you're able to break it pretty easy when it's time. All right, so let's get started. So one thing I haven't done yet is clean inside of here. You can see the orange from the plane because it's a Super Scorpion. So we've got orange paint in there. So let's clean that out. So we got alcohol in there. Get it all clean. Clean the outside too because that's where I'm going to be sticking the tape. I want to make sure it sticks. Lots of birds around, so you're going to hear noises. And the birds we've been feeding brought their babies too, so it's going to be kind of funny. All right, that's done. Okay, maybe I'll go a little higher. Give me a second, guys. I'll be right back. I'm gonna go higher. All right, let's see if I can get that adjusted a little better. There we go. Now you can see better. So I use pliers on occasion too, but I only use that for tightening this. I'm not going to use that for anything else. I've already got that tight, so I don't need to do any more. But got that clean. They had a piece of tape in here. Who the hell is blinging me now? Had a piece of tape. So I'll show you the piece of tape that they used. Let me show you the tape that they used to try to balance it. I could have left it in there, but I chose not to. They just shoved this glob of tape into one of these holes here. So I could choose to leave that, or I could just start over with my balancing. And I've just chosen to start over completely with the balancing. Let's go back. What's up, Mike? Keller, this is your thing, so it's for you. This is the original motor that was in this fan unit. It works great, but as I was saying, outrunners have their limitations when it comes to high speed. So that's that. This is not the motor I'm using, but this is for an example. This is the exact same size of the motor I'm going to use. But here you can see the difference in size. So while this is good for torque, it's not good for high speed. This is going to be a good combination of both. The length gives you the torque and the diameter. And then this is the same kV. The motor that's in here is the same kV as this, but it's more suited for high RPM. So even though the kVs are the same, motors are, difference in size. You're going to get significantly more performance out of a motor that's like this than you will for this. With the propeller, that one will do better. With a rotor for an EDF, this one will do better. So keep that in mind. Now, if this were like a 11 to 1200 kV, you could actually spin a prop with this size motor. I've done that before. I had a Mustang that was hopped up, and I ran it on 4S with a 1010 prop and an 1100 kV motor of this size, and it worked really well. But again, at a certain RPM, they work great. But once you go over, they start heating up. Okay, so this is just a size used for size comparison, but that's not the motor I'm using. This is one I'm going to test on something else. So this is what Mike's looks like now. So before, this motor was, in there taking up some. They're pretty much the same diameter, but it's made differently, so the internal spins instead of the outside. Just going to work better. Just going to work better. All right. So I got for breakup. So we're working again. All right, so everything's cleaned. You saw the cleaning. So 200 driver, that's a good question. Whenever you have a motor that's doing more than it should, the amp draw usually goes up and the heat goes up because it's going into, there's more resistance. So when you get resistance, you get heat, you get amps. So this motor probably going to turn more amps than it should just because of the way that it's made. But actually, FMS did really good. They figured out what was going to work. So this motor actually does pretty good. But it's right on the edge of doing what it should be able to do. So it's right at the edge of efficiency, which is good, but you're just not going to get the RPMs that you need out of it. So we're switching from outrunner to inrunner, which is going to make the thing work a lot better. Inrunners are way more efficient at high speed, and they just work better. So let's get started. So as I was saying, the tape, I use the weight tape. The tape is weights. This one's going to take a lot because it's really out of balance right now. So let's see. Is it still glitching, guys, or is it cleared out? Let me know, because I'm not seeing any breakups. I'm watching the stream on my phone, and it seems to be okay. Okay, so RC WAS dude, it does depend on the motor, and that's what I was talking about. Just depends on what they're used for. It's the same as what nitro motors are for. So if you want more torque to spin a bigger prop with higher pitch, you use a 4-stroke. If you want to spin high RPMs in a small prop, you use a 2-stroke. And works the same with motorcycles or whatever too. Cars, a big V8 is going to give you all that torque that you need, but there are different types of V8s. Some will give you high RPM, some will give you monster torque. Same thing. If you want monster torque, you get long stroke. You want high RPMs, you get a smaller, a shorter stroke. Just depends. Different stuff. We're going to do basically we're going to change using the turbo V6, if that makes any sense. Okay, so see how this thing, I don't know if you guys can hear this too. Tell me if you can hear, because I purposely use a table that makes a lot of resonance so that you can hear what it sounds like. So tell me if you hear it. Let me know if you guys can hear that. That sounds horrible. We're going to get started on that part of it right now. I already cleaned this. So hopefully it doesn't take too long. So yeah, shout outs that spinning outside is like spinning a prop, or it's getting started. It helps. So there's going to be upsides and downsides to both sides. So an in runner is going to have a harder time starting from a stop, but if it's the right length, it'll be just as good. That's why I'm using a motor this size. And when I use my sets and other planes, I would use the 40 millimeter motor in this if I could have, but it wouldn't fit in here. The largest I could go is 38, and they don't make 38 millimeter in runners, so I would have had to do some shaving to make it work in here. But just gonna work with this. All right, so let's see what it sounds like with the spinner on. We'll spinner off. Make sure everything's clear, out of the way, because these things will suck things in. All right, so it's bad, but not as bad. So what we're going to do is make our reference point here. I always choose one blade. This line you don't make crazy dark, but when you use blue, it shows up really well on black. So I'll make one line, and then a line here. And that's the reference point. I don't know if you can see it or not, but it's there. I can see it, that's all that matters. But this is a simple line. This is just a place to start. Now all I'm going to do here is see if I can get, just by moving the spinner, if I can get a better sound. Sometimes you can't, sometimes you can, but it's a good step to take anyway, just in case. So I already know that one wasn't a good spot. Let's move over. Move over one. So having 12 blades is good because it gives you a reference point. You don't have to use all the 12 blades. Use those because it makes it easier to reference. So once I find a spot, once I get to the tape part, you'll see this. I move around from here to here if I can, and then that shows me if it's getting better or not. And then sometimes I'll even move in between the blades to see if it gets any better too. But these are good reference points so that you don't get lost and end up forgetting where you are. So I moved it over one, just tightened it down. And again, we're going off of feel here. Still bad. Let's move over. Now, safety equipment. You guys should be using gloves and glasses to be safe. Do at your own risk. Do it however you want. If I'm not going to be running this up more than at about 20 to 30% throttle. So it's still bad. All right. So find your reference point. I've gone 2 over so far. Let's go over another 2. The newer rhinos have gotten better, but they're still not that good. Let's see. Oops, pinching it too hard. Sounds bad, but it's getting better. So let's move over. So guys, give me a second. I need to go get a stand for my phone. Be right back. Okay, now I can see. So I can see the chat easier. Okay, so started to sound a little better. What I will do if I'm noticing that it's one that I want to go back to, I'll make a little spot here so that you can see where it is. Let's see, that one was okay, but it's not anything that's really mind-blowing at the moment, so. All right, let's move again. One more. That's getting better. Trying to keep up with the chat. Ooh, that's getting better. Okay, so I'm going to start making notes now because it is getting better. And there. Go over another one. There. Okay, so yeah, it sounded better. So, like Keller, the rhinos are good. They're not going to give you crazy high burst of power, but they do give you consistent power. So, but the downside is the weight. And 200 driver, yes, I'm just rotating the spinner right now. You probably can't see it because there's a contrast, but I'm just rotating the spinner. And that's why I had these lines as reference points. And then I'm going to have to make another line, just redo it because I've been rubbing on it. That way you can see better. Next, I'll make that as a mark too because that was okay. And then what I'll do is I will make sure that you can hear the difference that I was able to find between the better spot and the original. Does sound better. So I'm going to keep marking those. Mark all three of these, and then I'm going to find the best between those couple that I've marked. And we'll then go between the two. And then another reason why you have the alcohol and the paper towel is to wipe off those marks once you find the good spot so you don't get confused. Yeah, it's starting to get bad again. So I think I'm going to stick to those three spots unless I find another one here. It is time consuming, guys, and it does seem kind of like you're going in circles, but patience pays off. Oops, it's my fault. Squeezing too hard. Yeah, it's getting worse again. So let's go there. Everybody following along okay so far? Yeah, it's getting worse. So I've got one more blade to go, and then I'll do a comparison so you can hear. Yeah, it's gotten bad again. Okay, so let's go back to where we started. And then I want you guys to let me know if you can hear it. So this is our starting point. Okay, that's the starting point. This is with no weight. This is just moving the spinner. Let's go to the 3 that I've chosen, or 2 that I've chosen. That's better. I'll just choose the better of these 2. Alright, let's get that out of the way. Sounds bad, but it sounds better. Ooh, the spinner was a little off center too. Get that thing back on the right way. So that's bad, but it is better. Helicopter flying over, so you're going to hear some noise. Got a Blackhawk going over. Okay, so that's better, but it's not as good as it was. So I'm going to make a bigger mark here, but I want to make sure you guys can hear the difference. So this is the spot I found. And let's go back to the original. Well, what do you know? They're 180 degrees of each other. All right, and this is the original. All right, so quite a big difference. So we got a better starting point instead of having to force ourselves to make it work. Okay, so what we do now, that was the original starting point. This is where we ended up. So I'm going to take the spinner, turn it around to my new reference point, lock it in place. Make sure it's marked good. Then I'm going to cover this blade with ink to make sure that this one I know is the right one. So I'm gonna totally covered in ink. I don't know if you guys can see it, but it's discolored compared to the others. So there's no mistaking whether or not this is the right one. And that line's going right to it. So now I get my rag, get my alcohol, and clean off that original line so I don't see it anymore. Got an other little mark over here. Clean that off too, so that there's no mixing up. But I made a small mark, so it'll be easy to get off. All right, so that's it. That sounds like a jet ranger. Maybe there's something going on. Yeah, there might be a traffic helicopter or something hanging out overhead. Anyway, let me catch up on the chat here too, see what you guys are talking about. All right, cool. So I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, you can. But there's the mark that I made. And then the blade is discolored too, so I know that that's the reference point. And I use the blue for this reason, because I'm able to differentiate the blue from the black pretty easy. So let's see here. All right, what are you guys talking about? I have to go into batteries and why I use them in another chat one of these days. So with batteries, guys, you're going to notice the higher resistance packs are going to heat up. So higher resistance means lower C. And lower C doesn't always mean that it's going to heat up, because you got to put capacity along with that too. But the discharge rate determines whether or not it's going to heat up or not. Low C, high C matters in certain points, but you can use a low C pack with high capacity and it'll still be just fine. But also note that a high C pack will get hot if you go past the voltage cutoff you're supposed to. So if you go down too low, even if it is a high C pack, it's going to heat up, because then they start, they're not happy. All right, so got started. That's the initial finding the balance. Well, not to be using weight. So now we're going to do the use the tape as weights. So now I get my scissors. Sorry about the camera. Pretty simple. I use little squares of electrical tape. And I just cut a little piece like this. Cut that in half. Put the two together. And set them aside. Let's go up to here. Piece of tape. Cut it in half. Put those two together. Set it aside. All right, so I'm going to do that about 6 times. That's just the number I've especially when it's way out of balance, you're going to need lots of it. But, and sometimes in several spots. So I'm not going to count them out anymore, but I'm going to keep cutting. As you can see. So I'm still cutting pieces. Try to monitor the chat. You guys are still talking about batteries. Let's see. So with guys with batteries, the most important thing, yes, C can be important, but you don't want to use C to decide whether or not the battery is going to work or not. You want it to be a combination of things. So while you have a 2275C pack, yes, it's going to be able to handle a whole bunch of amps. But you got to realize it's a 2200. So while you're able to supply a lot of power, you're also going to run out of power quicker because you're giving it up a lot easier. So it's a whole separate talk. I'm not going to get into that today. But it is important stuff to bring up and talk about. And my next stream is going to be about choosing the right EDF, the right battery for your EDF, and we can talk about that then. But it's important stuff. But C is not the one thing you're supposed to go off of. You're supposed to use a combination. So I've got an ESC. Yeah, you always go a little over. And if you aren't going to go over, use a UBEC to be safe. I actually have a plane that uses an 80 amp ESC when it's pulling 85 amps, but it only does that at peak. So I'm not too worried about it. And it's directly in the stream, airstream, and I have a separate UBEC. So I know that the BEC is not going to cause any extra heat. So there won't be any thermal shutdown. Also, another thing on ESC, guys, on ESCs, full throttle doesn't always make them overheat. Sometimes running them at lower throttle settings will make them overheat. So burst current's important and cooling is important. So know what the burst current is and know what you're going to do, know how you fly. Let that determine what ESC you use. Again, this is all stuff we can talk about another time. But, I'll bring it up as it comes up. 345 stick with 345. So I'm making the weights that I need, and I usually tend to do the weights doubled together and then some singles, and then see how it works. So as of right now, I've got 6 of the twin together and then 6 of the singles. And I'll show you why I do that a little bit later. All right. So ESC's cooling is the most important, especially on an EDF. If you can put that ESC in the intake stream, that is the absolute best, because that air will be the coolest, because it's not going off of a motor. It's not having any heat coming off of it from the motor. It's going to be all cool air coming in. So if you can put your ESC, like see this one here, this is the heat sink. Have that heat sink in the airstream, and that'll keep this thing cool. If you turn it this way and the airstream, and this is like up against the foam, it does the opposite of what you want. So leave that in the airstream and it'll be cool. Even if you go a little over, sometimes it doesn't matter. This one has a UBEC. This is from a crash plane, but I saved it for this. So if you take the BEC out of this, it takes away roughly 20 degrees worth of heat. And when you run this separate, that means that if something happens here, this will power the plane. So, but by taking the BEC circuit out of here, you save usually 20 degrees, up to 20 degrees. I've seen as high as 40. So anyway, now we've got the weights. I have all the weights set up. You can't see them, or maybe you can. I have them all. Where are they? Right there. Lined up, ready to go. So let's get started. I need to keep adjusting because the light keeps changing. So give me a second, guys. I gotta get my computer out of the heat. Hold on. All right. Let's get back to it. I'm outside on my patio, so sometimes the sun shifts. I've got to shift with it. So got all the lines of reference done. Got all my weight. Can't see that, but I've got weight. Just a little bit. So the weight is here. Just little pieces of tape. That's the easy way to do it. There are other ways. This is not the only way. So I don't want anybody to give me a hard time saying, oh, hey, you're not doing the only. No, it's not the only way. This is the way that I use. It's worked really well for me, regardless of the application. 50 millimeter, 64, 70, 80, 90, 105, 120, doesn't matter. It all works the same. So let's get started. So I found those spots, so let's choose. I know it's going to be really out of balance, so I'm going to use 2 of my doubles. So I'm going to choose this spot here. Sometimes you start right where you began, and start low. You don't need to go high. I didn't hear any change. Let's move over. Keep going because it's still making noise. Move over one. So with this fan, it's starting to get better. I think I just lost it. I did. All right, this is one of the reasons why you make sure to wear glasses, because sometimes these things pop off. So let's make sure this is cleaned again. Just a little more alcohol. Clean those areas. Already got the marks. Make sure that mark is still there. All right, let's do that again. So I have moved to the second one over. It's starting to sound better. So also notice that when you spin from here, that's going to want to sling the weight harder. So if you're able to move it further in, it won't sling as bad, but we're not running it up high anyway. Let's see what happens. But you cannot, with this type of spinner, you can't go here on this blade because of the hole. So sometimes you can't. That's why sometimes you need to use multiple spots. So let's run it up again. Let's get that out of the way so it doesn't get stuck in there. That's sounding better. All right, so we're making progress. Let's go to the next side. Should sound better. If it starts sounding better, then I'll use a couple different points in here. Oh yeah, way better. So I'm going to move that forward a little bit. See if that sounds any better, which it does. So let's add some weight. And see if it starts to get better. Oh, and it does quite a bit. So let's add some more. Sounds a lot better. A lot better. Okay, so let's move it up. See what it sounds like up there. It sounds even better up higher, which is good. Only problem is you can't run it up very fast because you'll sling it. So it sounds pretty good. So I'm going to add two more. Actually, I'm going to add one at a time from here and see what happens. So let's add one more. That sounds way better. I don't know if you can hear it. But let's make a mark here. Oh. Okay. Yep, sounding better. Also keep in mind this is a brand new motor. This motor will get better. The bearings will break in and it'll sound even better. Getting there now. So I'm hearing some bearing noise, but let's see. Let's move it over one. Let's see what happens. Nope. It's worse. So we're going to go back to there. I think that's going to be my first mark. I'm watching the stream, Mike Keller or RC Waz, dude. Mine's fine. So I don't know. Maybe it's where you are. I'm getting some light feeding through here, though. Give me a second. I got to fix that. Okay. Yes, there were a couple glitches, but should be better now. I had to move around. When I do that, it messes with the signal. Anyway, let's get back to it. So we found the spot. This will be number one. Let me see if it's... That's pretty good. That's motor noise I'm hearing, so it's not out of balance. So we're going to mark this. Make a square. Since I see that we're probably going to use several weights, I'm going to label this number one. All right, so you set that aside. Make that number one. So you know. Then you open this. Doesn't matter if anything spins now because you've got a reference. So you know. So I've already cleaned inside. So take that spot that's number one right here and put it underneath. Excuse me, I had to sneeze. Okay, so take this, put that inside, right there. So it says number one inside. All right. Now the beauty of this is you've got centrifugal force. So even though this is taped here, as it spins, it actually pushes it out to the walls even harder, which makes it stay in place. So that, line it up. I'm going to have to remark my reference point because all the handling. So just be prepared for that and be ready to constantly reinforce it just to be safe. And if that mark starts to blur, do the same. How long have you been going? So we've got 16 people. It's been a little over an hour. Hope you guys don't mind. Normally it doesn't take this long, but since I'm explaining and showing you guys what I'm doing, it's taking a little longer. So, all right. So let's see what it sounds like now. So I put the weight inside. Sounds pretty good. So everything's inside. I'm hearing motor noise right now, so I'm going to run it up a little bit more. I'm going to do it. Let's see here. That's some noise. So we're going to do some more. All right, so we got started. I'm going to have to add some more weight. Okay, still with me? Add some more weight. Started. Doing the whole thing over again because now we're fine tuning. We found what was the most out of balance. Now we're going to fine tune. So this, when it comes to fine tuning, I don't use doubles. God damn it, that blower's back. I'll use singles. And sometimes I'll even cut those singles in half. So see, I'll cut this in half, but sometimes I'll even cut these into pieces to make those work. God dang it, that guy's already been here once. Why is he coming back? All right, so I'm going to start with, well, I'm going to do two, just to be safe. So I'm going to start ahead of where I was originally. Let's see what happens. All right. Well, didn't notice the change there, so let's move. Let's move to this one here. Let me change. Over. Yep. Over. Okay, so if you can't hear the blower, good. But he's bugging me. He's gone already anyway. All right, let's see here. So it's getting buzzy again. So what I was doing wasn't helping, so keep going. Keep going. Still noisy. Keep going. Ugh, I'll keep rubbing off the reference point. I keep missing it. And guys, be prepared to get dirty. Fingers are going to turn blue. Turn it up again. Oop, that was too close. All right, so I'm going to have to use a heavier weight because I'm not noticing any changes. Oop, just launched it. All right. So I'm going to double that amount of weight. So I didn't notice any significant change. And this is all going off feel. And you can hear the noise because I'm using a table that resonates quite a bit. Did GB come by? What's up, GB? Thanks for coming to hang out. Is it about lunchtime? Yeah, it's about lunchtime. Actually, almost 1. Jesus. All right, so when is I don't want to lose everybody for the stream over at Pilot Ryan's, but I'm gonna keep going. So let's see, let's start on the original point. I put double this time. Let's move it over. Ooh, shit, I just lost it. Just launched it. All right, I gotta clean. I just launched it again. Actually, that was a good sign. So I need, all right, so put those two. If I can put it further forward, I will. Let's see, that's 3. What was I? It was right here. That actually sounded pretty good. All right, there. So I'm going to use 5. Why not? All right. See what happens. Give me a second, guys. All right. So let's see. I put 5 in the spot because it started to sound good. I think that one extra was too much. Or no, wait, I moved it over 1. So let's move it over 1. Over to here. Let's try that. There we go. Okay, so that's getting better. Move it back here and forward. Let's see, it didn't do that. Didn't do that spot. Let's try that. Nope, it's that one. And it's right next to the other one, which makes sense. Sometimes you end up doing 3 or 4 all on one side. So let's see, that's, yeah. So I need to take 1 off because the other one sounded near perfect. And I put 2. There we go. Instead of using 1. So now that's 4 pieces. Let's see. Okay. Let me pull 1 off, 1 more off just to be safe. Let's see. Because I heard originally a sound that was near perfect. Let's go back 1. Let's go forward 1. Let's see. Ooh. That's a good sound right there, guys. Okay, so we're making progress. And that's on the original, one of the spots I had up before. So I'm adding it to what was already there. So that was my number 1 spot. Yeah, that's better. Okay, so I'm adding to that 1 spot. So I'm going to remark it. And that's where all that stuff is going to go. It's no longer going to be, it's still going to stay number 1. But I added more to 1. All right. So pull this off. I gotta make my reference because I don't see it anymore. Add my reference point. When you handle these things, that goes away. So, gotta add it back. All right, so making progress, almost done. So I changed that to 1 because I added more to the exact same spot. So I'm just going to cover up the one that was originally there. Put it over. So that one was 1. Now this becomes 1. But see, that's all the weight added in there to get things somewhat balanced. I don't know if you guys can see that. But that's quite a few pieces of tape in there. But just that little bit spinning at those RPMs makes a difference. And so I'll get that spinner lined up, screw it in place. Again, let's make sure that you can still see the indicator for 1. So I handled it. Number 1, still there. All right, clear stuff out of the way. We'll run it up. All right, so let me see what you guys are talking about. I got 19 people in here. Thanks for coming and hanging out with me, guys. Getting Mike Keller's custom EDF. So 200 driver. 15 minutes, huh? I don't know if I'm going to be done by then, so I'm going to keep going. If you guys still want to learn how to do this, keep hanging. Almost done. Oh, that sounds perfect. So the noise that I'm hearing right now is bearing noise, and that's because this motor's brand new. So probably the 3rd, 4th, 5th flight, that noise should go away. Or Mike, if you want, you can run this thing up on the ground at about half throttle and just let it run. Make sure you've got plenty of cooling. The noise I'm hearing right now is not bearings. So let's see. Still a little buzzy. Oh, oops. Blowing stuff off the fence. So, still gotta go. Still making noise. I'm gonna keep going. So let's try some more weight. We'll put 2 together for this one. Again, if you guys want to take off and go to the other one, I think they're just going to be talking. I don't know if there's going to be anything important being discussed or not, but if you guys want to learn how to do something for free, you can hang out, or you can go hang out with Ryan and the other guys, which is cool too. Either one. But I'm trying to give some information here to you guys so you can learn how to do this stuff without having to send it to me. But it's up to you, completely up to you. I'm going to keep going. And then if you guys want to come watch this after on the replay, you can do that. Still a little bit of noise. So I'm going to have to add. Yes, Bruce Beamer, I do those too. That takes a different method, but I have that in my on my stream. On the playlist for balancing, I show how to do that. Solid ones are harder, and for different reasons. mainly because of the way that it's made. Sometimes the blades are individual, so each time you loosen and tighten everything down, you're shifting everything. So it's better to tighten it down once, and then there's other methods you have to use to get it done. So I'm going to keep balancing. Again, if you guys feel like taking off, go ahead. Watch it on the replay, but I'm going to keep going. Okay. Still buzzy. Keep on moving. Still buzzy. Move over. That sounds a little better, so let me move it forward, see what happens. Let's try the other side. Okay, so let's see what we're going to do here. That's getting better, but I'm going to take one of these off. I'm going to split this. So I think that might be the issue here. Where was I? Didn't make a mark. Let's go back to here. There. Lost my reference point. Here. That's actually sounding better. So let's go over one more. Can you guys actually hear this? Ooh. That's almost it. That is almost it. And damn it, I'm on hold. Go over one more here. Let's see what happens here. I'm still making noise. Let's go back. Go back to here. Actually, I'm gonna go here. Okay, getting better. Let's skip over this little hole. Go clear over to here and see what happens. I think that might be it. Let's go back one. Oh, whoa, there's my reference. Again, I've been handling this thing, so gotta go back. That's why you make all these blades really obvious. So you go back and make your line. There's one. I gotta put that back because I've been touching it. All right. So. All right, so let's see here. Let's put that back. I'm fine tuning right now, so I might jump around a little bit just because add that other piece I took off. Let's see what it does. It might actually be worse. I might have to cut the piece I have in half. The original piece I was using in half. Let's see. Yeah, I think I'm going to have to do that. Or just keep going until I find a better spot. Let's see. Where was I? Let's mark those. Let's mark these. 1, 2, 3. All right. That. Let's keep going all the way around and see what happens. That is getting worse. So I'm going to use half in one of those spots. Okay, we're almost back. Let's put that up here. That's another spot. That's one there too. Did that too close to the pen. Don't do that, guys. All right, do this one. All right, so from what I noticed, out of all those pieces I used in those areas, I need to cut down to half. 1/2 of a piece for those areas in there. Let me clean that off. Okay, so I know what area I need because I marked the blades. So I'm going to have to take a piece that I normally use and cut it in half. Clean off this area here by those spots to make sure that I don't lose the weight. Just simple alcohol. 70% alcohol and blows it off. So let's do that. Again, make sure my reference points are still there. And they are. That's number 1. So, okay, now we're going to do something here, guys. Give me a second. I'm going to see if I can get Mike to come in here. Hey, Mike Keller, take a look at your messenger real quick. I'm going to see if I can get you to join the stream. Then you can be here with me. Just use this link that I'm gonna send. Again, give me a second, guys. I'm just gonna type this in, see if Mike can come in here with me. Then he can talk while I'm doing other stuff. Airplane flying over, which I'm sure you can hear. Looks like it's a steer. No, that's a Piper Malibu. Okay. So that should be it. Okay, so Mike, when you're ready, just go ahead and click that link from your laptop, and then it'll get you in. Okay, so let's get back. Okay, cool. All right, so Mike, when you're ready, just let me know. All right, so okay, so Mike, when you're ready, just let me know. I'll see you. But I can get back to doing this. All right. So I got everything clean. Now I need to do my half that I was talking about. So I'll take this. I'll cut it in half like I normally do. And then I'll cut the half in half. So I'll cut this in half. All right, so we'll use that. Can't see it on the black battery, so I'll have to put it on the white table. Oops. Oh well, it's easy. All right, so I made my marks. Let's try it on these marks and see what happens. It's harder to work with because it's a smaller piece. And I got big old grubby mitts. So I'll have to do this a different way. Okay. It's actually pretty good. Let's take that spot. Move it forward. Okay, getting better. Move it over to the other spot. So I have all these points of reference. Damn it. Just folded it over on itself. Let's go to the third one. Put that there. What's up? Hey, Big Bad Bob, what's happening? Okay, Mike, you got your camera on? There you are.
Yeah,
all right, I'm adding you to the stream. There you go. There you are. All right, now you can talk when I'm working.
Oh, really? I'm excited. It's way out of balance.
It was. It's getting better now.
Yeah, I see. Wow. You know, I never knew it was that whacked out. It
Well,
flew
and
great.
you know, it might have been fine the way you had it before with the other motor. I bet you it was. But I took it all apart, so that changes everything.
Yeah, I love it.
That's
I
probably
love
why.
it. I love
But
it.
it's gonna be good.
I believe it. I believe it.
I think I just found the sweet spot. Leave that there and see if it'll work. I'm gonna run it up higher. Get everything out of the way. It's a little noisy.
Yeah, it is.
Move the spinner.
I've self-grounded myself while I'm waiting for this.
What's that?
I'm self-grounded now, just waiting for this stuff.
Oh yeah.
But I think I'm gonna have to fly, man.
What do you have anything else to fly?
Oh yeah.
Okay, good.
I'm showing the rest of the guys. It's ready.
All right.
I'm ready.
Just found the spot. Just moved it a little bit, and it made all the difference in the world. All right. So let's do it one more time. Go back. Okay.
I can't believe how much bigger the motor is.
Yeah, I didn't realize how small the original was.
I'm beat, man. This motherfucker good. In racing. Wow.
All right, let's.
In anything, what I love to do is install the incorrect, oversized motor. Cars, boats.
Mm-hmm.
I love that.
Yeah, it helps.
It
Okay,
increases the
so
fun factor.
yeah. Did this do 6S? 2 to 6L. Yeah, it will. Okay, so I need to get an adapter for 6S battery. So I'm going to be back.
Oh, you're
Give me
gonna
a
spool
second.
it up, huh? That's cool.
I'm going to get the adapter. I'll be right back.
Cool, cool. My mission is to make this thing faster. And this is just step one. I think I'm gonna go 8S. Go faster. This crazy plane, the Super Scorpion, was designed after a plane that the military ended up buying, and it's their trainer now. It's a Boeing Saab TX. It was originally intended as a two-person corporate jet that could fly subsonic rate at just under the sound barrier. The model flies great, like a trainer, I swear. When you put the flaps down, I think maybe 25 miles an hour, it's still really controllable, really drivable, slow. I was worried I was going to need brakes for landings. It just roll out forever. It has ball bearing wheels, but you can make it fly so slow that the rollout is like the Commander. I land the Commander in the same spot, you know. It might roll out 100 feet max.
Okay, so we got 6S I thought now.
Wow.
Still too much. Still too much. Let's pull that off and see what it does. Might have to put a whole one piece here and see. It's half. blowing everything around in the yard.
Yeah, when I fire that thing up in the house, it'll move every door.
Yep,
One,
it moves
on one
more.
side of the house, it's sucking them all shut. On the other side of the house, it's blowing them all open.
Yep. You don't realize how much air these things move.
Oh man, it's stronger than a leaf blower. Oh,
Still a little bit of noise.
I hate the noise of the EST.
Right.
Oh man. Like, ah!
It's that little, you can hear it changing.
Yes.
Is it a little bit.
The
So I'm gonna put. It's It sounds. What do you call it? It sounds like something from a. Remember that movie Close Encounters, back in the days.
Yes, it's a crazy sound. I
Yeah.
first figured it out running up that B900 with no prop adapter or anything on it. And it was
Yeah.
like, whoa, what a sound.
Yeah, you can hear it. It's the frequency changing.
Crazy, yes.
Yeah. Put 1 and see what happens. Might have to keep going. I don't want this to go forever though. This is most of the way. If I have to do anything more, I'll do it off camera. But at least you guys got to see most of the way. It's probably 98% right now. And I've been going for a little over an hour and a half. I don't want to do any more, but still got 12 people. But
I don't blame you.
I'm gonna get going, but I'm still working. It's most of the way there.
Let's go, man. I got stuff to fly. I'm not in a jam. It's terrible.
Normally, if this is just me doing it, I'll be done by now. But I'm trying to show everybody, so it's taking a little longer.
Yeah, it's all good.
So let me get going because I'm stomping on other people's streams at the moment, and I don't want to do that.
Oh yeah, Cody's goodbye stream is up, isn't it?
Yeah.
The Horizon one.
Getting there. So anyway, most of the way there, but I'm gonna get going. Or is Randy here? I mean, if you guys want to hang out, I'm cool because we're still going. But I don't want to.
Yeah, I wasn't that tight with Cody, and Ryan already did a goodbye show with him once already. Ryan already beat Horizon to the punch.
Okay, well, if you guys want to hang out, let me know. I'll keep going.
Yeah, I'm chilling with you, man.
Okay.
I think the others are sticking around too. Once I joined the stream, I lost the view count, so I can't tell how many people are watching now. Okay,
there's Bob Garcia. I fly with Bob. Adding a wrench to him. What's up, Mr. Bob? Hope you're still here.
I'm gonna bring my other computer in here so that I can join the chat part.
Okay. All right. Yeah, let's try that. Nope, not that. That ain't it. Just shot it off. Let's put it here. Ooh. Might be what I need to do. Put that half in front. Let's put that half in front and see what happens.
All right.
Start over. Go from. Might be glitching a little. There we go. That's better. All right. So I'm going to start going around again just to be safe. Because I think I might need to do that just with one.
When I took that thing out, I noticed that there was tighter clearance on one side than there was on the other.
When you pulled out?
Yeah, when I was
this?
in the throat of it, it seemed like it was slightly edged.
Yeah, I noticed that too. And I could see where it had been revving.
Yes, there was some
Just
mark.
slightly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if it needs to be switched, let's switch it, dude. I will send you the money. I think I lost your audio.
There we go. Okay, we're back.
Yep.
Little glitch.
So hey, if that thing needs to be replaced, let's replace it, man. If it's
Say it again, Mike.
Say again.
No, I think it's okay. It's just a matter of getting it. There we go. It's getting closer and closer the more I mess with it. So I think that we're on those spots again. It's just a matter of me fine tuning at the moment. We'll get there.
All right, cool. I didn't know if that shroud was bad either. When I looked at it, I thought, that's interesting.
Well, the shroud's fine.
I bought the plane second.
Yeah, shroud's.
It was used.
So you never know what you're getting when you do that.
It was advertised as never flown, and he said that he had set one of these up for a friend of his, and I got a feeling the second one ended up being in his house because he had to buy it to get a part out of it.
Right.
And then when he got it all put back together, he put it up for sale.
Right. I get it.
But I didn't like the equipment that was installed in it either. It didn't seem correct either.
Very well could have happened that way.
It had that lemon RX with Hobby Eagle, the famous Hobby Eagle. But that
it had lemon with a Hobby Eagle?
Yeah. It had the lemon RX-8 and the Hobby Eagle.
Yeah, the lemon RX are good.
Yeah, I know that. But once I discovered through Dave Marshall's programming series that I could program a AR-636 to the plane, that's what I did. And it flies great.
Yeah, AR-636, those are, if you can get them tuned right, they're great.
Yeah, I apparently did it right.
Yeah, and RC Air Marshal's got that how-to series going to help even more. So
Totally works, and I totally learned it by that
cool.
series. I watched every single one all the way through twice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it's actually easier than it seems.
Yeah, it's starting to get glitchy, guys. So I'm gonna probably wrap this up.
All right, Ray. Well, thanks for bringing me in.
Yeah, I'm gonna wrap this up, guys. It's starting to get glitchy.
It's smooth as silk on my end. I can see it good.
Yeah, it's starting to get weird on mine, so I'm gonna go. But hopefully that was able to help you guys a little bit. Get to figure out how it works. It's starting to get hot out here too, so I'm gonna get going.
Oh man, it snowed here today.
It's gonna be 90 here today, and it feels like it's most of the way there now.
It didn't just snow; it snowed hard.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Where are you, in Michigan?
Yeah.
Oh man. So we're the complete opposite of the spectrum because it's easily 90 degrees right now.
Yeah.
I'm in the shade, so I'm all good.
That's definitely the opposite end of the spectrum, man. Like I said, thanks for bringing me in. It's been fun watching.
Oh, no worries. Got a bird hanging out over there.
Can't wait to get it.
Yeah, I'll get this thing right and get it out to you.
Awesome.
So we'll
2 thumbs up for the GOONIAC.
All right, thanks, man. And then thank you guys for hanging out. Let me make sure everybody knows where to go if they do decide they want a fiery booty.
Yes. I know I'm going to be talking about it a lot on my live Sunday.
Okay.
And there will be videos of the remaiden.
Cool. So if you guys do decide you want to get a fiery booty website right there. It's the only place you can get them. Or email me at gooniac33@gmail.com. I'll help you out. But don't go to that other, don't look up anything thinking you're going to me and it ends up being another person. Not the place.
Yeah, that
can
happen, huh? That can happen.
Unfortunately it did. Unfortunately. So just look at that site.
They have all the different brands of this or product type thing because there's like 4 of them out there.
Yeah, there are, but if you're looking for mine, specifically for mine,
well,
look at
that. Yours is the one everybody favors.
That's what I think too. But hey,
no, I asked them privately.
Oh, really?
Yes, yours is the brightest and has the least effect on the thrust.
I agree. In some cases, it actually makes it better. Depends on the plane.
Yes.
Anyway, guys, that's going to be it for me. It's been almost 2 hours, and I don't want to go much more, so hang out with Ryan. But I'll be doing my other regular live stream on Monday, and that one will be, let's see what it's going to be. I don't remember, but it's going to be another how-to, so you guys can. I'm trying to help people out. See if there's a way for you to stuff that I know.
It's going to be hard to pick the right battery.
Oh yeah, there is that what it is? We got the 11th. No, the 11th is going to be a ask anything and hangar walkthrough. So I'll go through and show you my planes, some of my planes. But then you guys can. I
want to see it.
So we'll have some stuff, but thanks for hanging out, guys. I'm going to get going. All right, Mike, I'll get to you soon. So I'll see you guys.
I know you will. Have a good one.
All right.
Peace out.